What's up YouTube? Today we are doing a KLR video and it's going to be a little different as I need to rebuild this. So I'm going to make a video rebuilding put new piston in it, checking valves, doing a little bit of jetting work. Also we are going to get a new silencer, maybe a header too. I'm going to see what this header looks like, the inside of it, once I take it off and make that call. This silencer is too loud. I don't like it. It sounds like a Ford Ranger with headers, so it's raspy and I just don't like it. Some people do like that real loud. I'm either going to go maybe with a FMF, or I think there's another one, Lex, I forget the name of it, that sounded pretty good online and had the spark arrestor that you could take in and out. So we're going to do that, and I also need to fix my radiator as I hit a deer at the end of last year, right before I put it up for the season. And this is not the right radiator for this bike, as the new gens you can only get the radiators from like Rocky Mountain. They don't have the cheap ones on like eBay, but for the first gen you can buy the cheap ones. And it isn't just first gen, it goes up to like I forget, but it's just the last couple of years where they changed it. And I believe, I think that's the way it is. But the one for this bike is $300 from Rocky Mountain, a little over $300, and the one from stock is like $600. But you get these ones for $80 offline, and it's really close. It's just a couple things, like you have to move the radiator or the fan mounts and re-weld them, and some brackets and whatnot. But it wasn't really too hard. So I'm going to take that to work, get everything, see if I can save that radiator, because that's right where the deer hit. Also, I need to do some suspension work. We're going to put new fluids and springs in the front, stiffen her up a bit. Also, fluids and springs in the rear, stiffen it up a little bit. And then we are going to hold that throttle wide open, all 32 horsepower. Hopefully we'll get a little more horsepower with this work. We're going to look at the intake and exhaust and see if we can't clean that up a little bit. And some jetting work, pipes. But right now I need to cut my skid plate off, because I did not put anti-seize on my bolts like a genius, and they are now seized in there. So we need to cut 2 bolts off real quick before we can even get to drain the coolant and the oil. Alright, stay tuned.
Yes, I can. Doubt, better leave. I'm running with this plan. Pull me, grab me. Crabs in the bucket, can't have me. I'll be the president one day. January 1st. Oh, you like that gossip? Like you the one drinking what gossip.com. Now I got a word for your tongue. How many Rolling Stones you want? Yeah, I got a brand new spirit speaking and it's done. Woke up on the side of the bed like I won. Talk like the wind in my chest to that sun. G5 in the US to Taiwan. Now who can say that? I wanna play back. Mama knew I was a needle in a haystack. A whole body boy, plus way back. I got a feeling it's a rap. ASAP.
Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling.
Now we have got the coolant out of it. Well, Hondo's been helping. We got her up on the stand. Next, we're going to get the radiator off. Hondo's chewing on sticks. Going to get the radiator off, get the valve cover off, head off, that kind of stuff. Exhaust, header off. I think we'll just do a quick time lapse.
I got a feeling it's a rap. ASAP.
Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling. Yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling. Yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling. Yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling.
The mountaintop, walk on water. I got power, feel so royal. 1 second, I'ma strike oil. Diamond, platinum, no more for you.
When you're taking your valve cover off or on, this is the angle. Like you kind of got to angle it to get it up, and to put it back on, you would angle it just like that and then slide it in. So that's what I found the best is instead of trying to go forward or up or out, just go at an angle and try pulling it straight up like that. Now we are at our head bolts, etc., etc. But first we need to get our cam chain tensioners off, and then make sure all of our hoses and everything are disconnected from our head. Then we can take the head, pop that right off, and then our piston is right there. So almost there.
It's not an option, gotta get it in. Witness, I got the heart of 20 men. No fear, go to sleep in the lion's den. That glow, that spark, that crown. You're looking at the king of the jungle now. Stronger than ever, can't hold me down. 100 miles gunning from the pitcher's mouth. Straight game face, it's game day. See me running through the crowd full of melee. No trick plays, I'm Bill Gates. Take a genius to understand me.
Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah.
When you're taking your cam chain guard off, the last bolt on the inside that's way down there is a little short one, and it could easily drop down into the bottom of your engine, so be very, very careful of that. Also, I usually go get zip ties, and this is the point where I put zip ties around it and put zip ties around the chain and hook it to something so it doesn't fall down on the bottom end and I'm screwed. Just little tips I found to help.
Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a good feeling, yeah.
Got my 4-cylinder bolts out. Now I'm going to take not cylinder bolts, I'm sorry, my head bolts out. Got the carburetor loosened up on there. So we're going to tap around the base with a rubber mallet and take that sucker off. Also, when you're loosening your head bolts, do it in a crisscross pattern. You know, break them loose a little bit, like, you know, half turn, full turn, or actually probably about a half a turn. Go to crisscross pattern, half a turn. You take them off like that, and then once you've got them all loosened up, you can take them right out. But now we're gonna tap on that and get the head off and see what's going on. And there she is, the head.
I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. I get a good feeling.
Okay, we have got everything apart now. Cylinder, which needs to be honed, cleaned up, definitely. Yeah, other than that, it looks pretty good. Just needs to be a quick little hone. Valves, which need to be cleaned up. You know, everything cleaned up. Like I say, I didn't get a chance to wash it right before I put it away because it was in an accident. I had a deer with it. So clean everything up, make sure there's no dirt, debris inside anything. Clean up the valves and the heads and make sure everything's good. Make sure my valves are good. New piston, clean that up. But as for right now, I've got a piston and everything, but I do not think I have a hone for that size. I've got a ball hone for my dirt bike, but yeah, everything else looks good. Yeah, pretty pumped. Had to take the starter off, so it won't be too bad putting it all back together. So we are going to get the engine wrapped up, then worry about the radiator, get that fixed, then do suspension. So in that order. So the next video will be putting the engine back together after I get everything cleaned up. Thanks for watching.